Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Hotel Dropouts. Today I am joined by Dan and Benny as usual, and we'll be talking about Enshittification. Um, yeah, what do you guys think? I think everything around us is enshittifying. I want to start with gaming though. You guys saw the whole DLSS 5 thing?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, hello everyone. I did see it. I didn't go into much detail. How bad is it? Can you be our, as usual, guide
I'm
to
all
understand it in more detail?
My God, I'm always ranting about these things. Do you remember like early
Yeah.
days DLSS?
Jimmy, Jimmy, this would be a perfect segue if you would, if something like Ground News would sponsor us. You could say like, I'm always on top of shit because I read.
And
Oh,
that's all
that.
thanks to
yeah.
Ground News.
Yeah.
You know, I have this weird idea, like maybe we should have just as a joke, we would have fake sponsorships. So instead of Ground News, I could say, oh, his video is sponsored by Ground Dudes. I don't know, like play on words, something
Grounded,
stupid.
dude.
I have an idea for like Squarespace. And then I can make a fake ad. It's called Queer Space. It's like a website building tool only for gay people.
Then what about better help? Lesser help? That's why I think, guys, I'm
That's
actually
good.
feeling kind of down. That's why I use lesser help, because that way I get to work on my problems myself more. It
My
gives me the time and space to stand up for myself.
Yeah, that sounds good. We
You
should
could
try
make it
that.
sound like just lesser help, but you kind of just in a very backhanded way point out all the issues that BetterHelp has. You know, like the therapists without licenses, etc., etc. I wonder if you'll get
But
sued by
that
them.
would No, yeah, I don't think that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
I
I
have
mean, as
the
a joke, sure, but I don't think we should. If we want to do that, then we should not dive into it too much, dude.
yeah I
Like just
have
a fake sponsor, like that's why we use blah blah blah. But that's it. You don't go too deep into it.
okay. I mean, I have a
I
couple of
think.
ideas. For BetterHelp, I was actually going for Better Shelf, and I wanted like Dan to like film me some very erotic images of him, just like ASMR, like touching all the shelves, the woodworking. Uh,
Mm,
Skillshare, I was
touching my
thinking.
shelf. Oh my god! That just touching my shelf calms me down. It makes me
Oh,
feel grounded.
you're born for this. Uh,
I
Manscape.
like touching myself. I like the hardness it has and the smoothness it brings.
Oh my goodness. Okay, wait, no, going back to graphics. So do
That's
you
some
you
good
you
wood.
we're lost in the we're lost in a horny
Lost in
Okay,
the
version.
let's
sauce.
get back on tracks.
Um yeah, what was I thinking? DLSS. The early
Yeah.
versions were like this. It was just super sampling, right? It was a technology that was in the very first version, it was you as a developer, you would take a high resolution picture of your game and
Mm,
you take multiple of them and you send it over to Nvidia, and then Nvidia has like this supercomputer that trains per game, like on a per
mm,
game basis. You would train it, then you incorporate that SDK into your game engine. As long as you're running
What's an
an Nvidia card, you can upscale. You can basically render the game at a much lower resolution, and it has training data to fall back on. It can guess like how should how should I paint in the rest of the picture based on the training.
Mhm.
And it kept evolving over the years. Like it started having like temporal stability, so from frame to frame it will look good. And then to the latest version, I think you've seen it in some games, right? If you have the LSS turned on, it looked kind of blurry, right? But it is giving you those, some people call it fake frames, but it is giving you some stability, and it's a life-saving feature for low-end machines that is trying to run like a high-end game. Um, so it was always like a kind of like a secondhand thought thing, right? Like it's always like it's not like a main feature that I would use to sell Nvidia cards, right? Like they use things like ray tracing, they use things like for empowering AI, training or calculation or whatever. Like DLSS was never like the main feature to sell the cards. And I feel like they're just running out of things to do. They're running out of like catchy things to sell the cards with. And now they're coming up with DLSS 5, which is it instead of trying to like do super sampling, instead of trying to give you the ability to run a, a higher resolution scene with less power, which I don't know if it's still in there. Maybe it still is, but it switched over to the transformer model, which is something we've seen in LLMs, and noise-based rendering, right? So LLMs in the context of image generation, like Midjourney, like Stable Diffusion, it is basically guessing the next pixel, right? It's using all its data set to guess the neighboring pixels. Eventually, like with iterations of diffusion, you get the final picture. And so what NVIDIA did was that they used a neural face, which is it was an experimental feature that they tried years ago that most people don't know about, but it did exactly what the LSS5 was doing. It was trying to paint a realistic face over a 3D character. And it was only using like the motion vector and the final rendered frame to do that, which is very impressive because it means it's pretty much as post-processing. And then so the LSS5 came out, it's doing exactly that, but technologically it's impressive because if it's doing it in real time, even though it's running on like double 5090 cards, it's still doing it in real time. It's kind of impressive. To be able to paint over every frame at that speed, that is a technological marvel. But as usual, the CEOs have to do their selling shenanigans, completely misinforming people, making us think that, oh, this has something to do with the technology has the ability to read the geometry or read the scene or even read the shader properties. Like Jensen Huang literally went on so many like different podcasts and speeches going on a tirade about how this is neural rendering, like throwing out like they're just casually throwing out these never before heard composite words to create a buzz, when in fact, after people have looked into it and have talked to the actual engineers at NVIDIA, it is just a paint over. It is a post-processing. It's using the training data. It has the training data that it relied on to identify faces, identify object surfaces in the scene, then painting over that. And so everything just end up looking kind of, it's got that AI feel to it. Everything's very polished. Every character feels like a like a portrait photography, like a cinematic photography kind of look to them, right? And
Yeah.
and so people are kind of pissed off, not because the technology is lackluster. They're pissed off because they're lying, and the fact that it does remove like artistic intent, because when they showcased the one that was used on Resident Evil on the female character Grace, she ended up looking very different. And people were starting to think, okay, well, this is you're erasing the
I need
art,
to
right? You're painting over it, right?
I need to see like some actual examples because all I've been seeing were memes, so I don't know
Oh,
how they actually look like.
I mean,
Real
the
example.
most famous one, or the one that they use themselves, is the Resident Evil picture of that little girl, right?
sorry, which one?
I don't know. I only saw the one where that replaces the girl from the game with the girl from the movie. No, not the movie. The series, the show,
Yeah, I
the
dropped
live
some
show.
images in the chat that you can see. So this is from NVIDIA's website.
Yeah.
And the crazy stuff is that it also changes the looks of all the other characters that are in the scene. And
Mm.
it has this
Very
very
masculine jawline, though.
contrasty look, doesn't it?
It has a very AI look.
It does.
Yeah.
like I said, like so much of the training data is based on, if you think about
It does change it.
all the photographs and all the pictures that have ever existed, I would imagine like a big chunk of it is stock photography style pictures, right? Portrait photography, etc., stuff like that. So everybody just looked, they just end up looking very polished. And there are like these examples of what do they call it? It's kind of like hallucinations of not in a text way, but like hallucinating in the sense that it's creating details that doesn't exist.
Mm.
It changes the face as well a little bit. Like, yeah, and yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
details like some facial features change a little bit. Yeah,
people are
feels like
complaining.
such
They're
a
saying that
overkill for such a gimmicky feature.
they're saying it's the yassification of the characters. I did not expect the Gamergate to come
What
back
is
and
a
say
yassification?
just making you look very, not necessarily gay, but like very, very polished, very uh yeah, it's actually a very difficult thing to explain, but
I think
uh
I get it. I think I get it.
you know and
Also, you used the abbreviation of something earlier. Like, I think I tried to ask you what it was, but you just
which one?
Denied him.
DLSS?
proceeded. No, no. I mean, it was some STF or something like that. I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. I was just wondering, like, oh, what does that mean?
Okay, now I'm trying to think of what I said. Anyway,
It doesn't.
it might come back. But yeah, people are very upset about like the yes. Can you
Actually, I
imagine?
don't. I don't find. Maybe I'm just lost in the sauce, but I don't find the Leon one that bad.
It's not. I think the Leon one looks kind of faithful to the original, and it seems because like they repaint the character, and it feels as though there's more light than you would expect. You could, especially if you
Yeah.
look at the eyes, right? It always has this very cinema looking eyes. It's what we've come to expect in eyes, because in every TV show or movie, they're always lit in a very intentional way that you have this glistening. My goodness, all the memes on Lara Croft. Uh, but yeah, do you see the glint on the eye, the reflection?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like there's a
yeah.
big, like there's a really bright window
Yeah,
behind us.
and
Something. Yeah.
because in films, it images are graded down. Usually, like if you look at some of the behind the scenes, right, like with actual filming, you'll see that the scene is very bright. It's very amply lit, right? And then they're sort of graded down. So you get some very desirable reflections that you would not really expect in a naturally low light condition. And so all the characters are going to end up looking like that. And that's why like people are saying, okay, look, it looks kind of AI-y. Because that's what they mean.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. I also kind of feel like that. I don't know if it's because I know it is AI or why, but yeah.
It's at the end of the day, I feel like every time there is a graphical, not just graphical, even like in terms of like the gaming space, every time there's some kind of new feature, they have to make it seem like it's the best thing ever. Like it's gonna be a revolution, right? Everything is always hyped up to be the revolution. Uh, Starting in, God, when was the last time we had like a really cool evolution? What was it? It was ray tracing, right? 20, I want to say 2018, 2019-esque, when people were thinking like, oh, ray tracing is going to be the next big thing, that our hardware is going to move towards the ability to trace uh, more light than possible on like a video game. But that never really happened, right? Like, so you guys know what like ray tracing is? Yeah.
Isn't it just to make the light shine more realistically and with reflections and stuff like that?
So, um, in video games, like in video games, real time rendering, it's the rendering itself is called rasterization. So that is fundamentally different from path tracing, which is in Pixar films or movie films, like Disney films, right? Those animations are rendering at like they render out 24 frames per second to give you that very polished and very beautiful, realistic 3D look because it's being path traced. And path tracing is literally just shooting like a ray from the camera to the light source, or sometimes vice versa, to calculate bounce lighting, right? You're sort of simulating light transportation. Like you're actually simulating how light is bouncing around the scene and how that gives gives you the shadow, gives you the reflection, and gives you um the color, what would you call it, the diffusion of colors. You know how like if you put a red ball on the table, and the reflection of the red ball, that color of the redness is gets reflected onto the wood, right? So
Yeah.
ray tracing is basically that. In a video game, you obviously you cannot have all the light ray traced because that would fry your machine. You would not be able to run that at like 60 frames a second. So what ray tracing does is that it selectively applies the ray tracing in some of the bigger games that are like more like experience focused. What they do is they will have certain lights in the game that developers will tag. The developers will set the light to have ray tracing properties. And what that does is like, okay, I can decide how many rays I want to shoot from this light to calculate the character's shadows, the specular reflection, or the transmission, which is like, on waxy or semi-translucent materials. The and so they do that per light, and you obviously cannot have all the lights to do that. So in a game like Cyberpunk, you would expect ray tracing lights to be in the main sort of in the main shots of in the main scenes where you would come across in the campaign playthrough, but you would not expect a random ray trace light in like in the street corner somewhere that's not important, right?
A car turn indicator.
Exactly, right. You would not expect ray tracing in that scenario, and so like we thought we thought the hardware was going to go in the direction where we start being able to afford even more ray trace lights, because with like this ray tracing, you're able to get really accurate reflections. You're able to get really like in an extreme scene. Can you imagine like playing Battlefield 6 and then you point your gun at a car, and then the polished surface of the car casts a reflection. It happens to be on a corner, and you see your enemies running towards you from around the corner, and you could see that because of the ray traced reflections. That was the
Yeah.
dream. That was the insanity that was implied, but that never happened. And our hardware kind of, we sort of reached a caveat, didn't we? And then from that point
Yeah.
on, we had Nanite. This what was this? It's I guess you could call it like an instant, like a procedural LOD system.
Yeah.
Where I think the Nanite technology actually goes way back. Like it was already like an experimental way.
But let me ask something, Bernard. Does this make sense? I think I would like to try to explain it in a simpler way.
It's very complicated.
In a way, RTX is just a way for games to simulate light from the real world. So if your material is transparent or semi-transparent and colored, you will get an effect that the light that is coming from somewhere goes through it partially, goes through it in colors, and some of it gets reflected, and
Yeah, like
you get all this, and then
light.
the cool thing is that you don't have to, like usually before in games, people would have to plan out these things. They would bake this stuff, right? They cannot do it on the fly, so they render the map, and the map has shadows that are just drawn there. They're not like actually calculated while you're playing. They're just painted over. And then with this technology, you could theoretically you can just create your game world, apply all the right materials, and then boom, it's really
at the right
realistic, and
and
you can change the position of the sun or like the weather, and it all updates and it looks beautiful, and you don't have to do anything because you just need to model the world correctly. I think that was like the main appeal.
yeah. So instead
And
of like having to Android everything, you basically
you just simulate it, like instead of writing down if else statement of how a car drives, you just like say, okay, it weighs this much and it has
unlike
wheels and they
here,
spin
and
and it
generate
behaves like a real car,
yeah.
just because it's simulated physics. The same way with light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the point was that it was our impression that RTX is going to continue to evolve over the years, so much so that, in that picture I sent into the chat, right? Like, you imagine if I set the sunlight to be ray traced, right? You would imagine like all the beautiful bounce lighting. If I point the camera at the river, right, I would see the reflection of the sky, etc., etc. And we thought that this technology was going to get better in the sense that it's going to be cheaper to render. It's going to be readily available in all video games, and that was going to be amazing, right? There are people making mods for old games like the old school, like, what was it, the Doom with ray tracing, stuff like that. But that never happened. And then we moved on to the nanite, which is this crazy promise where we thought that it was going to be possible in the future that we no longer have to do we can take in as many polygons as we want, which is a very big technical limitation in most 3D softwares, right? Again, that kind of never happened. It's working in Unreal Engine. It's functional, but there have been complaints in production, and it's still not widely adopted, right? Most people are still not adopting to this new workflow because it gets very complicated. But imagine, like, this is a technology that basically can help you skip a couple of the steps in actual production, right? So that would be crazy. That's like a lot of money saved. But that promise never came to light. Then we have, what was it, Megalites, where Lumen, which is even crazier. It's like, oh, hey guys, we have another way of approximating light as an alternative to ray tracing. Then again, like Lumen, you don't really see Lumen in other engines. You don't see this widely adopted. There was a very beautiful game called Half-Life Alyx in VR.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Right, and I always point to that game to tell people this is how good a game can look without all the fancy tools we have now. So what problems are we solving exactly, right? And then after that, you have Lumen, and then Megalites. I don't know what else is happening. Like, do you know? There's that meme like every month. There'll be a video that comes out and say, "Oh, Blender 5 point something. This changes everything." I've seen that. I've seen that for decades now. Every time it's like, "Oh, everything has changed." And then so we got to this point where now DLSS itself, like, it was never a flagship feature, and it's being brought out to paint it with the aura of AI, of generative AI, as a potential selling point, and as a step where we move away from, hey, let's have open source technologies. Hey, let's, like, a lot of the rendering in our computers, like, it was not possible unless the people made it to be open source, right? Things like DirectX. But we're slowly moving towards this Enshittified future where everything is proprietary. You need to use our product to have this feature, and it's just kind of sad. It's just really sad. Like, seeing DLSS 5, it's another like nail in the coffin that the kind of proves to me that this is the way, the future that we're going. Right, let me just.
Well, there's hope. I think there's hope. Actually, when we were starting to talk about all this, I had a thought that I think like my preferred path for the gaming industry is that they start optimizing games. For me, graphics hadn't really improved that much for like already a decade almost. Yeah, sure. If you compare side by side and you point out stuff, yeah, sure, I'll notice it. But like it, it doesn't really, it's not really worth it. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I would really like for games to just run really well straight away, like very high FPS, and be optimized, and they can still look amazing.
I have seen like
Like
there.
for me, it's such a waste. And you know what gives me hope?
Uh-huh.
Uh, Somebody said this while I was watching a video about Valve's the frame and I forgot what's the console name. But
The
for
cube.
their
Steam.
for the GameCube, that they are not super powerful,
Mm.
and people hope that this will push the industry to stop chasing like more pics. I mean, or more polygons, like this technology, that technology, like just push, and they instead of that they'll focus on like actually good gameplay, like interesting, fun world, new features, like stuff like that.
I think we're seeing what you're saying in some of like the latest indie games, that we're seeing a lot more of really optimized games.
Yeah,
I don't know, like I know
that's
like
really good.
Hades 2 was like very optimized. Factorial is incredibly well optimized, so I've heard. Um
Mm.
I don't know. I feel like I'm afraid that the only people that cared about whether a game is very optimized are people like our age. Like I still remember when I launched Warframe for the first time on my shitty ass laptop uh back when we were still in Switzerland. Like now that I
Yeah.
think about it, it was still kind of crazy how well the game ran on like on my terrible laptop, even though like the game gets really hectic. Like Benny can attest to this, right? Like the
Yeah, lots of
Warframe goes fast.
particles flying
Yeah,
everywhere.
it's a lot of
Mm.
particles. It's so many enemies. There are tons of enemies on the screen. Like sometimes like 50 plus enemies in certain game modes. And mind you, these are all like skeletal meshes, right? Like these are all 3D objects with with their bone hierarchies, with a lot of data to track. And it's just crazy that it looked
Mm-hmm.
so good.
And it run well.
It ran so well. It's crazy. But yeah, I guess this is our
We are not sponsored by Warframe, but
I got banned. My account in Warframe got banned.
how?
Until
Why?
20 I was banned in 2016 or something, like a long time ago. And I will be unbanned in 4 years. Yeah, 2030. They will unban me.
My God.
Yeah,
And what was the alleged reason of your ban?
I was sharing my account like with my cousins, with my friends, and there are just so many multiple logins. But then I hadn't played Warframe at the time for a while now, and then I just got the message on my email. And then they were saying that I could appeal the process by writing a 2-page essay. And I was just like,
What?
what kind of a cunt? It's like, I knew the company is Canadian, but I didn't know they're such cunts. It's like 2-page essay. Like, I don't know if they said 2 pages, but like they
You
specified it.
technically just ask ChatGPT to generate one for you. Do you think they would actually
Well,
read
can
it?
you imagine? But that
Or
was
do you
such a
think they would just
that's
like use
it's from a long time ago.
fair enough.
Asking for let me see. Let me see if I can find pictures of this. But it was insane. Like I remembered like being like, even if you were like wrongfully banned, they would ask you to do that. Let's see.
That's
Ooh.
silly.
Yeah, it just sounds wrong.
Well, but in any
Sounds
case,
like they got some kind of weird
don't know,
obsession
like
about it.
Warframe is yet another example of like one of the. I hate to say it, but they are kind of partially responsible for the amount of like live service games we have now. Developers around the world were like very slow to catch on to Warframe what they did, but seeing how they grew, like I don't know if you remember Warframe in the alpha phase, like it was 3 heroes that you could play, and it was one map. I think it was just one map. Like everything was procedural. And then that was like a very landmark shift for a lot of developers to go much lower budget, lower content, and they go for things that give you replayability. And I think that's why, like, oh my goodness, that's why we have so many roguelikes nowadays, right? All the like giving you as much replayability with as little assets as possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the going back to like graphics, the gaming technology, there is that enshittification in the sense that we're just moving in all the wrong direction. The what was it? Was it EA or was it Ubisoft that came out with the with like a tool where you type in the video game scene and then you can walk in it. You can walk the character around.
Heard about it. I would assume Nvidia, but to be honest, I don't know for sure.
I think it was
Neither do I.
Google. What was it? Something. It was Google, right?
Google.
AI generated game walk simulator, because it came under a lot of fire because oh, it's called Genie 3. Yes, Genie 3. Because people are so mad at the amount of copyright violation, because people were able to like straight up generate worlds that are very similar to Breath of the Wild, all the big IP games.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it I don't know. Like, do you think they're gonna win? Because that's the battle of the era, where AI has to decide like, are we gonna pay for it? Are we not gonna pay for it?
Hmm.
I don't know. Anyway, like I just feel like the enshittification in gaming, we feel it. Everything is gearing towards live service. It's microtransaction as usual, and it feels like a lot of the video
Gaming as
games
a service.
nowadays, like it doesn't care if it's it doesn't care if you like playing it or not, but it does everything it can to like drive up engagement.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There's all the daily logins, the battle pass. I think the Asian game developers are to blame for that, with all the login rewards and shit. Oh, it gets crazy.
Yeah. Profits.
So, what are some other services from our lifetime, like from when we were from when we started using it? It was great at first, and then slowly enshittified. Amazon. Did you guys use Amazon when we were in
I
Switzerland?
agree.
No, I
when I
don't. I
was
don't really have a lot of experience with Amazon and stuff like that.
I was using it a lot when I was on my internship in US.
Yeah, because you're in the middle of nowhere. I think you had to use it. I was too, to be fair, and like the price was really, it was really difficult to say no, because I think, what was it like back then? There was no Amazon Prime. There was no streaming platform yet. It was actually quite cheap, right? And then there was like no. Did you guys already have like next day delivery then?
Yeah, and I think it was called Amazon Prime because I paid $100 per year.
Oh,
for it.
sorry. No, I meant the video streaming service. You know, like how if you
No, I get it.
yeah, if you pay for Amazon, like the membership now, it's like there's the one for video streaming, there's shopping, there's grocery, I think, and there's the I don't know, but I feel like it was it good in in the before times.
I loved it. It was really convenient. It was easy to buy stuff there. It was cheap. The things would get delivered in like tomorrow almost. I remember coming back
Mm.
home and seeing that like some basic small appliance will get delivered to me in 1 week. I was like, what is this Stone Age?
Like I feel that as well because in for some reason like Amazon just cannot take off in the Taiwanese market, nor can it. I don't know about other Southeast Asian countries, but they just cannot compete because they're like these big logistics company, uh based in Southeast Asia. And then for us, we I still have to wait for, like, I think I can get next day delivery, but if I buy something online, I still have to wait like 3 to 5 days. And I
Mhm.
just remember like the Americans here, they were like, what is this, you guys are so behind. They were offended. Okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, I was so it's not a very fair comparison, but I was using Amazon again later on. I was using the German one. Sometime
Ooh.
before Brexit, I was also using the UK one, but now I don't. And I feel like the main enshittification for me is that when you look for something that is not a brand, but you're just looking for, let's say, a wire for your charger, or something generic, I guess the word is.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many sellers and these one day brands, um like the way you search for a product is just shit. Like I hate it. And the worst part is, I remember back like here, the online stores were more like proper stores where you go to the store, you have filters, like actual filters. You don't type in it in the search results and hope that the algorithms will understand what you mean. You can
Mm-hmm.
actually select like how many watts of should it like this power tool consume, or like this the height of a refrigerator, things like that, and it would actually filter them exactly like you want.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't get like double of like this the basically the same thing, and you don't understand why is the difference, but one is cheaper. And like it was more structured because it was handmade. Basically it was more
Yeah.
tailored
Hmm.
instead of this algorithm. And I really don't like it. I like the older way of online stores. For me, it's easier to like choose a product that suits what I want.
Now that I think
Yeah.
about it, like I cannot remember the last time I went on to like an online store and actually did like 'cause all this shopping experience that you were just talking about. It felt so natural to us back in the day, and I don't remember the last time I did it. Just go on to like because like I used to buy these airsoft guns from their
Hmm.
website, and it just made all the sense in the world. Like it would show you, oh, filter by brand, filter by maker, filter by a paratype. Like when things were handmade, like things, it made sense. And instead, now we have these. I don't know if this is still happening, but like for a short while, there are these AI pictures in like AI scam products on Amazon. I don't know if you
AI?
guys saw this, like the one with the gorilla,
What
the
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 fuck?
the gorilla
What?
couch. I sent it to the
What is that
Well, it looks
price?
so fake.
I know, but like some of the
It doesn't
boomers,
even look comfortable.
yeah, but some boomers would fall for it, right? Like it's just like products that are so, you know,
Yeah,
impossible
yeah.
to be real. And I don't know if that is like the proper enshittification now for like Amazon. I think they'll like really they'll crack down on that, right? Because when you see things like this, like, volcano mug. Oh yes, mugs. This is like a big thing. There are so many scam AI generated mugs of like of the galaxy, or like things that are not physically possible, and then it focused on scamming the older generation, like these grandpas with money, and then they they're they're old and they don't want to like drive or like spend so much time and effort to go out and do some shopping, so they shop online, and they're like the best target to scam.
That's sad.
Oh my
This
goodness.
sad.
Okay,
And
what
that looks
about
fake.
Facebook? When did you guys stop using Facebook?
Ah,
I
hmm.
think about 2017, but
Oh my
I
goodness.
created a new account now.
I think like properly
Let me
used
think.
Facebook. I properly used Facebook was, I think it was around the same time for me, like maybe 2016, like shortly after. I think the last time I used it was after I finished my military service. I used it to post some
Hmm.
pictures with my friends, and that was it. I think that was the last time I used it. Because
I think it was the same for me, if not earlier.
what happened? Like I think it was just a lot of like ads, right? It was just a lot of like ad stuff. And then
I hate it because of the way content is fed to me. I don't like the feed page where it's just random stuff all going at you.
yeah.
And I guess this is going to sound bad, but Facebook is like the majority of people that live here have a Facebook account.
Mm-hmm.
And the comments, like the atmosphere there is just bad.
Mm.
And at one point, I kind of switched to Instagram. I don't really use it that much, but I guess it kind of replaced Facebook for me. And there only like, well, I think less than 20% of people that live here use Instagram.
Oh
And
my.
it's just a nicer atmosphere on Instagram. And another weird thing that my friends that have like their furniture making business, they told me they straight up avoid Facebook. They don't post anything there. Like they don't do it at all. Because
Why?
all like the absolute majority of clients that come for there are just like nut jobs. That you cannot you always get somebody asking you and finding out information, and then they don't order anything. They like come up with very weird requests, and like
Oh man.
it's always just a waste of time basically.
Yeah.
And Instagram in that sense is like the complete opposite. It's almost always just like normal people are so, oh, you make the furniture you make is nice. I would like to find out how much will it cost if you would make me this.
Hmm.
And then like you get like a normal proper communication.
I feel like Instagram is just still predominantly like millennial user base. Is that why?
Ah,
I don't know. I don't know. No, I feel like it has to do with
could
bots
be.
and everything. But I remembered trying to rent out my flat because I had to look for someone to take over my flat in Montreal, and I, against my better judgment, because I initially posted on Kijiji, which is, if you're Canadian, you know that's like the kind of like their Craigslist, I guess. And then
Mhm.
I couldn't find anybody on there, so I went on Facebook. But suddenly I had so much more like traffic. And then just looking on Facebook Marketplace. Sorry, not Marketplace. I literally just posted in like, oh, in Montreal group, this is the flat. If you want to take over, message
Ah,
me. I had so many fucking nut jobs. Seriously like, and sometimes like they're decent people, you know. They're not trying to be weird, but they just come off weird. I had this it was just this weird kind of like vaguely Eastern European guy um come over to look at the flat. And then so you know, I would show them the place. It's very small, but I'll be like, okay, here's the kitchen, here's that. And then it was just this guy who is, I think, slightly younger than us, and who is a programmer of some kind, very fit, very good looking man. He was so weird. He gets so close to you. Like I'm showing him, hey, this is the kitchen. And it's not even like, I'm not trying to make this sexual or anything. It was not sexual. It was very creepy. It was very weird. He would just get so
Hmm.
close to you in your face, and then like staring at me in my eyes for the most mundane questions. Like, how much do you
That
pay for?
sounds uncomfortable.
It was weird. I was
Maybe
actually
maybe
afraid.
he's on the spectrum.
Yeah, sounds like he is on the spectrum.
Could be. And then I had like it was just one day of all nut jobs coming to see my flat. Like after the weird, I call him the weird Serbian guy, but I'm not sure if he's Serbian. And then came like this mother and son, and then they were like, they're Taiwanese Canadians, but they don't speak Chinese. And then so they would tell me about, oh, okay, like they really want to go back to Taiwan, and then blah blah stuff like that. So I thought we vibed, and then we vibed in terms of like I left them with a good impression, and then they were thinking of taking over the flat because the son is going to go to university. um and then straight up, like they left a comment on my post and just saying that this Taiwanese guy is what was what's the word, like unpatriotic, like she implied that I'm ashamed of my own culture or something. They never said a single word about it. Like it was a very pleasant showing, and then they started trash talking me online. And
These people.
and I thought, I already thought at the time that was my lowest point of the day. Then came this Ukrainian couple that I think I told you about this. Straight up, the wife, like she sat down and cried, and she was begging for me to just give them the flat. And then, I explained to them, I was just like, yeah, I understand there's a war going on, but this is not my flat to give. I'm renting it. And then they're like refugees. And I said, yeah, this is for like subletting. Like I'm transferring the lease to you. Everything was very clear. And then so both her and her husband were like sitting in my flat, like on my couch, begging me to just give them the flat. And I didn't know what to do. And then at that point,
Crazy.
I thought to myself, because I lived right by the street, and then every now and then there would be these homeless, like groups of homeless people that would come by, and then they would beg me for like cigarettes or joints. And then at that point, because the Ukrainian couple was in there and they wouldn't go, it's been like 2 hours. They were just there, and I just opened the door and I was just like, I'm hoping for the homeless people to come bother me, hoping that would be bad enough to be like, oh, you look at this dangerous neighborhood, you don't want to be here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
What happened like in the end?
in the end. I had to call like the property manager to come and
Ah.
like speak to them. But yeah, after that experience, I was just like, I immediately took my post, down. Oh my god, I'm not dealing with Facebook again. And I've heard a lot of crazy stories on Facebook Marketplace.
It's because
Actually,
the
that's
normies
half the reason why
ruin.
I created my account again, because I'm looking for furnitures, and I know some people like they just give shit away that they just want to get rid of.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I don't feel like
Normies
dropping like
ruin
thousands of
the
dollars just
platform
for
for
more
everyone.
furniture.
yeah, and I imagine like there would be more bots now that everybody seems to be using Claude agents. Can you imagine like the amount of bots that's going to appear? Like all the content bot farms that we've seen clips of like one guy with like 10 Android phones is somewhere in fucking in Shenzhen, China, and he himself is like operating all these bots to to like or dislike things online.
Yeah,
That is democratized now. Like technically, you and I could both do it if we have the device. If we set up OpenClaw, like we can achieve that. And I just feel like this enshittification of social platform is gonna continue.
Yeah.
But do you guys have like is it the same in Latvia that the Facebook is very politicized, like politics wise?
Can't say for sure. There is definitely politics. Maybe it is a little bit, but it's also, how can I tell that? Because my feed is like individual, so it could be a different case for everyone.
I don't know. I feel like
All I can tell you is that like whenever, like I don't even watch the comments. Like I don't even check the comments anymore because everywhere they're so shit. It's
yeah.
people that jump to rash conclusions.
Pretty much.
Just make like very silly surface level decisions.
I
Just
mean,
straight out troll. Like there's maybe 1 per 10 comments that actually feels like somebody gave some thought and consideration and tried to look at things from different perspectives.
Yeah, and
When
how much
there's
of
a
it is
video about anything
actual? Yeah, and how much
political
of
or
it is
stuff like that.
actual? Like, hey, this is what I'm writing, what I feel, and how much of it is just rage baiting, right? Because there are people who do that, who just like write shit to trigger some kind of hate fuel interaction, right? And so the rage farmers.
Yeah. I think the comment section, well, it's not that, in political videos and stuff like that, maybe, but in videos that are not about that,
well,
in videos where bots don't care about, the comments are actually nice.
yeah. There was even like a trend on YouTube where creators would like intentionally mispronounce things to get people to rage. Like it's like a rage bait thing in the video to get you to comment. That is insane. So backwards. But even looking at like Reddit or like Facebook in certain countries around the world, I know this is certainly the case in the Philippines, but also in Taiwan, everything like the r/country, like if you go like r/Taiwan, r/China, r/wherever, it gets so political. It is insane. Like, and then I would just see like it's constantly recommended to me just because, based on location, I guess. And I would look at the comments, and then these people I don't know if they're real, because you look at these 2-year-old Reddit accounts, and then all they have ever posted or replied to comments is in that one sub, right? It's r/Taiwan. That's it. They don't post anywhere else, and they keep posting in the same sub. They keep replying in the same sub. Sometimes they'll have like maybe 1 or 2 other subs, but it's always in the same. And it just makes me wonder: are these real people? It's weird. And then
I know what you mean.
It gives
also
you that.
sometimes the users have weird names like 5V XPPOV347, like just a random string was generated.
For
and
me,
then whenever I see it, I was like, how do if real people have nicknames like that on a platform, how do they get them?
right? Yeah, but it's the ones you see like on Reddit, at least, are like automatic generation. It's always becoming sweatpants, like something underscore something something.
Becoming.
Well, at least those are words.
Yeah.
But when it's just
like just
something like
randomized.
a password that you would get when the platform makes a password for you.
Yeah.
I think some of them maybe just go to like a generator, maybe.
I guess so.
Generate me a random string of letters.
Yeah.
But they could do better.
You don't
than
even
that.
type that. I guess you just like click a button, and then they just don't even care so much that they just copy it, paste it.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
But that's something I see on YouTube a lot. I don't see that anywhere else, so I'm not sure.
What about dating apps? The Enshittification. Okay, to be honest, I haven't used it in a long time. Who among us have last used a dating app? Dan?
I'm sorry.
Okay, imagine Dan's
I
wife
haven't.
is seething in the background.
No, I mean I'm on it, even though I must say like it's I don't know, man.
How enshittified is it? Because it's so in the beginning, right? Like I remember the good old days.
In the beginning,
it was it really was kind of like a fair-ish playground, where I didn't just use Tinder, right? Like because for the gays, it's always in the early days, there's always a rush to like get away from the streets. You know, they're like, oh, I want to use a different app. And then Grinder came up, and then Surge. What are the other ones? Anyway, and then they all had like really nice features where, you know, and there would be ones that are purely for hookups. There are ones that are purely for actual sincere connections, where like you write literal essays on your profile, and all these questions you need to answer. Uh, and then back then it felt meaningful, even though I wasn't getting any matches. It still felt like fair and meaningful. But then seeing like some of my friends use these apps, and they're just for them it's like a constant fight to decipher whether the person is a bot or not. Especially like for
I
guys.
think when in my memory when Tinder first came out, like there was a lot of actual users
Mm-hmm.
and it was all right. You were able to still meet people out of it, but I think the problem these days is that first of all you have the bots, and recently I've been getting a lot of these videos from YouTube as well.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the algorithm picked up that I download Hinged again and and Bumble and
Can you describe Bumble and Hinge to me? So Bumble is, it matches you with people that you physically have come across based on your GPS location.
I don't think you have to actually come across them. I mean, there
Oh.
in both apps there is this distance filter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can say you would prefer somebody closer by or further away, but you have to understand, like it most of these dating apps is owned by this giant company called Match Group,
Oh, right. Yeah, I've heard
Hmm.
about them.
and
Do they
they
make matches?
are pretty bad. Match Group. Yeah. I mean, they basically you have to understand that dating apps is a service, right?
Yeah.
It preys on male loneliness to milk out as much money as they can. I mean, I never pay for it. I would never pay for it.
I just
And I
remember,
think I'm doing all right. But
but you get that
you have
feeling
to
of,
imagine there's guys who are paying like 400 plus monthly.
oh wow, really?
And there is a lot of male users in compared to female users.
Yeah.
I believe I don't know the exact numbers, but I've been getting spammed by YouTube by all this how dating apps are bad and shit. But
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's not like I'm hinging all my hopes on it, but like I'm just using it as a well, I do a couple of swipes, maybe in a day, 20 minutes, no more than that. And then I completely throw it out of my mind, right? I don't even have
Mm.
notifications on for it. And the only
Wait,
reason
how do
why
you
I
find out if you
somewhat,
got a match or not?
huh?
How will you find out if you get a match or not? Or you just check it in on the next day, right?
I'll look at it in the next day.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I don't completely abandon dating app as an option is because both my cousin and my sister met their partners through it, right? So there is
It's
that
possible.
possibility.
Oh my
But I
god.
think it's
When you're a girl.
unhealthy. Yeah, I guess it's easier if you're a girl. Yeah, I mean, I remember my cousin once, my female cousin. She showed me how it is like as a girl when she made her Hinge account. I swear, within like her hitting that create account button, like in the next few moments, like she just starts to get spammed by at least 200 notifications.
Oh my goodness.
What the fuck? Are
I'm
those
not
bots?
even joking. I looked at that, I looked at her, and I was like, fuck you.
Well,
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's why it's like I'm not hinging my bets on it at all. And
Mhm.
I guess this deck is stacked against me because like I don't even pay for it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I think the more likely option is to either be
We should
um,
force women to participate more in these apps. A law, I think.
I don't think that's a
National
good idea.
mandate.
Because you have to imagine, right? A lot of people on it are either just seeking validation, or I mean, of course, you have people who are genuinely trying to find something, but at some point, it wears you down so much, you just become like, oh, what's the fucking point, right?
Yeah.
On the
And
yeah.
I'm still more of a fan of meeting people in person.
Mm-hmm. Is it still possible? Like, do people, if you try to meet in person, they're like, oh my god, creep, get a Babel account.
I think it depends how you come across. Like if you come
Well, yeah.
across as like desperate, then it's like,
No, I mean, if you're like, if you don't come out desperate.
I don't know. It's just so. I mean, for me, I'm more.
Werner's like,
I spoke with Jamie actually
I
about it.
don't know. I never
I'm
came
more
across like
hedging
that.
my bets on being referred, like
Oh
Ah.
being introduced,
yeah. I mean,
mobilizing my contacts that way, right? Hey, you know anybody? It's like, no, but
isn't that like the
on the
most
real
common
though.
way to meet people? Like before internet dating, most people actually met through recommendations because people just, that's how you meet people. You recommend it. Like
Yeah, I
everyone
mean,
would
Yeah,
participate in it.
mutual
you have
connection.
different social circles, right?
Yeah.
Your friend circles, and sometimes you mix them up and see what happens.
Dude, I kind of feel like something has been robbed from us with all this internet dating, especially in like the gay dating, sphere, where people back in the day, literally, I shit you not, there was a magazine called physical aptitude or something. Sorry, the Physical Pictorial, which is a magazine that on the surface it's about male fitness, so it's about like workouts, so everything is very innocent. It's just muscular men working out, and then like on these exercise, like on these men oriented magazines, in the back there would be like a little message that says, "Oh, we're gonna meet up at this place in San Francisco on this bar behind the pier under the bridge. That's where everybody's gonna have like an orgy." And you literally travel the country, like you plan your life around it. You're like this twink from Montana. You're like, yeah, I'm going there. I'm gonna get spit roasted, and and then
Jesus.
people actually met their partners this way. Like, oh, I met my husband because of this one post on the magazine. Like, I feel like nowadays, if everybody just met online, it's so lame. On something
I feel like
interesting.
I feel like the current setup for dating apps is bad in the
Mhm.
sense that we could have been using this very powerful and very effective artificial intelligence algorithms. I think we know how to do it
Mhm.
to match people like really good.
Yeah, but you
But
want to
we
make
just
money out of it.
yeah, exactly. But we just choose not to make more money.
Yeah.
Because the amount of money that this match group earns, it's genuinely insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's actually in their interest to keep people single and paying, especially
exactly.
desperate people, right? It doesn't matter if it's male or female.
Mostly male.
I really
So
I really
should
don't
you?
like. I really, I mean, people are people, you know. I hate
Yeah.
it when there's this like trend of separating the sexes. It's like, I understand there's the biological difference and stuff, but like, honestly, people are people. And I remember one time, this was years ago, where one guy, he told me like, yeah, women don't get as horny as men, and I'm like,
Mhm.
no, they do. They just not horny for you. And he got so offended.
That is kind of a mean thing
But
to
it's
say.
true. You know what I mean?
I kind of agree with you, dude. I also think that men are more interested in sex on average.
Well, yeah, I mean, we also have a lot more testosterone in our body biologically.
I think look,
Yeah, I
But
don't know.
it doesn't
Maybe
change the fact that women also get turned on and have desires. But
yeah,
people
but
seem to
but
talk
he
to.
said he didn't say that they don't have. He told that men have more.
Sorry, maybe I said it in the wrong context, but he was basically implying that um, only guys get horny.
Yeah, that
Well,
I think that is under the misapprehension that because for the longest time we do shame women for being like horny, for expressing their
wait, we
sexual.
stopped doing that?
It's a lot less now.
No, sorry, I'm just joking.
No, seriously though, like because now like you could the internet shaming has always existed, but when it comes to sex, like I think people are more accepting of women expressing their thirst for, especially with like heated rivalry, the hit TV show when it came out, there were just all these girls like posting about how it gets them going, right? And then
I
as a
mean,
society,
if you think about book talk
huh?
as well, book talk.
What's
Apparently, it's like some TikTok book recommendations clubs, but apparently, it's just like all about like
Oh yeah, we talked about that, like the anthropomorphizing of what was it, like the milking of a minotaur or something. There was like a book about that,
yeah.
but like these
Wait,
crazy.
we really should have to. Really should try to have some female perspective on topics like this,
We
though.
do.
What? No, we know everything perfectly about this.
They don't know. Women don't know shit. I'm perfectly capable of talking to. No. But
They should be in the kitchen. That's where they belong.
yeah.
Just as I think for
for
I think we should
anyone that
specify that this is a
turned
joke.
our for anyone that turned our podcast on and somehow randomly scrolled to this point, a disclaimer: we don't actually think like that.
Yeah, no.
Oh, can you imagine
Wait, maybe not.
how
all right,
Oh,
I'll stop
nice!
messing.
I better check this new podcast. They don't have much viewers yet. Maybe they're cool. Let's see what we talk about somewhere in the middle.
how upsetting it would be that if we do this hard like right pivot into misogyny and suddenly our channel just becomes super popular.
No, but then okay, what if we use that as some kind of infiltration tactic there where we first throw the net out, get all these very extremist men and then start to convert them, but no, fuck that. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, but then in any case, like I do feel like the with the current gender dynamic between men and women, it's always going to be far worse of an experience for us to, to use the dating apps, and then it constantly is being enshittified. Like it's praying, it's trying to sell you exposure, it's trying to sell you like all these features that push you to the top of the algorithm for the female users. How
I
bad
mean, that's
must
just
it
the
feel?
systematic side, right, Jamie? But there's also like that human side of
Mm,
like just because you do get a match, like how much of it is someone that is seeking a genuine connection and somebody just seeking validation, right?
yeah, that's
And
true.
and of course there is I'm not saying it's only girls, but and there are some guys that do this too, but there is also that selection of people that only tries to get free food or something out of it.
Oh, I
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
I really think
There's a whole term about this in Russian about women that go on dates like that, where they don't intend to, like they don't view this person interested in as a partner, but they only go to the date to eat for free, and they call them platers.
Oh my
Platers.
goodness.
But
But
I don't know, but that's recently I for when I speak with somebody, like I start to think about just going on walks instead. Like, hey, you want to go to the park?
Yeah, it's the German blood in you.
No, I just feel it very like low pressure. It's a public space. Like I heard some horror stories about like guys who are threatened by girls. Like she picked the guy up, right?
Hmm.
And he was in her car and she just drove him like to some secluded parking lot and said, if you don't fuck me now in this car, I'm gonna go outside and scream that you raped me or that you're trying to rape me. And she's like a really small, petite girl, and
Hmm.
who are you gonna believe, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And that's like when I think about stuff like that, I'm thinking like, oh shit, maybe I don't want to talk to people anymore.
Dude, as a society,
Scary.
we have so little sympathy for men that it feels like it's so easy to criminalize somebody, to just, you know, eh, I keep thinking of like the instances of many people here in Taiwan where a woman almost drowned, but then she was saved by a man giving her CPR, but then the man was not. It's just an older gentleman who isn't particularly attractive, and then he ended up being sued for rape, right? Um.
Damn it.
That's why you should always blow into the nose,
Well,
not the mouth.
Oh my goodness.
oh,
Oh hey, yeah, that's
interesting.
actually a good
I
idea.
didn't
Yeah,
think about it.
film the whole
But what
thing.
if you're like, that's like fetish is no nose fetish bastard rape my nose.
Oh man, it's a lose-lose. You know what? If you see somebody drowning, the best thing to do is just
So you see that, you
ignore it.
look down, you're like, oh, she's a woman. Never mind.
Yeah.
But if it's a guy, it's also not good, right? Maybe.
No,
In my
I think
opinion,
it's a
because like
lot
then he
less.
Well,
sees you
I
for
have a
like,
question.
oh, this guy is a closeted homosexual and he was like trying to violate
No,
me.
or he's like horribly homophobic, and he's like, this guy, his lips touched me. He's a gay raper. Anyways, I have a question. So he got sued, but did he actually lose the case, or the judge was like, what the fuck is
Yeah,
this shit?
No,
that's a,
they
that's
they
a,
they
Go
had to.
drown.
Well, no, they settled out of court, and so she got paid.
Settled out of court. What the fuck?
Yeah,
what?
because
No,
like
I'm disappointed.
it's too much risk for the man to actually go through with it, and accounting for all the
There should be zero risk.
yeah,
Yeah, but there's that problem of it doesn't matter if you're guilty or not, if you're innocent or not. The fact that you have that on you,
yeah.
right?
Exactly. It's the optics, it's terrible if you are ever associated with that, for your work, for your social life. And I just can't imagine, like, it feels terrible. Like, I feel as though if I were straight and if I were ever accused of this, right, I would go as far as to have an actual gay relationship with another man for a couple of years just to prove that it's not possible, just to wash myself clean of this accusation. Because I feel like anything short of
What's
that anything short of that would not convince anyone, right? If you
Oh,
act,
hold on. But okay, this is getting a bit ridiculous. Like, okay, it's like those people who say like, "Oh, I'm scared to go fly now because the plane might get shot down." It's like, okay, at what point does your irrational fears become so ridiculous that it's you're just living out of fear and you're avoiding everything out of fear? Okay, shit might happen. That's a risk we all take. But isn't it sad to just live life out of fear?
I guess so.
It is. But I don't know. I just think it's horrible that like that man had to settle that. I think like the law should be, the law should have something written down about this. If you save someone from
Mhm.
dying, you
Yeah.
cannot get blamed for raping unless you actually sexually penetrated that person.
I mean, it's not just raping. Then I mean, I know there is also like cases where people say, "Oh, I wanted to die, but you saved me and caused me more suffering." or
Again,
stuff like that.
This
you know?
actually
your
happened.
problem.
This actually happened in the
Like,
States, where like a person who couldn't
yeah.
afford healthcare and he was saved and he was sent to the hospital, and then now he is financially broke because somebody decided to save him, and he was really mad
Well,
about it.
die again. I'm sorry.
Right? Yeah,
It's
die again.
it's
Yeah.
for free. Just do a better job. You failed even at the what was the term Bernard introduced?
Huh?
Uh,
You failed in your attempt?
you failed in setting your suit aside.
Oh, right. Wow, I can't believe you actually remember that. Yeah, in your
Oh,
in your
But yeah,
in
I
your
don't know.
suit account.
I think there should be clearly laws about this. Like if you're saving a person,
yeah.
it
I know in Taiwan that
Do you think that's why we are so apathetic as people these days, where you see shit going on, like a woman, like obviously domestic abuse ish dynamic going on, where there's lots of shouting, but people just ignore and walk away, or somebody falls down, and instead of going over to help, like people just ignore and walk away. I see
yeah, because
yeah,
some of it
I know
sometimes.
what you mean. I know what you mean.
yeah, like the
Because
bad stories
because it
affect.
starts to feel like the risk of being involved.
I have a feeling that if
Like,
something like that, like something like this that we talked about this woman blaming a man for raping her while he was saving her life, would happen here, I feel like there will be a angry mob assembled that will just find that woman and beat her up.
Mob
what?
justice.
I don't think that's the right way to
We need to
do.
No,
bring back
I'm not
mob
saying it's
justice.
the right thing to do, but I don't know.
But to be fair,
Maybe I'm
like,
angry, and
because these
that's why
stories are
I.
so sensational, the average woman doesn't do that. Most people don't do that,
Yeah.
right? It's just so sensational,
Yeah.
and it's gotten so
Yeah,
bad.
and
Like,
that's also the one thing about
mm,
news articles, right? Like
you know,
it obviously focus on just the most sellout, like
Sure. Shit.
shocking
I got
articles, right?
rage baited. I just
Yeah.
realized.
oh
Like
wow,
at some point we still have to rein it back in and say like, no, come on, there are good people out there. We shouldn't lose hope in humanity. Yes, of course there is a lot of ignorance. Yes, there is of course a lot of self-centeredness,
hmm,
but that's just the environment we are forced to be
I guess
in.
so. Yeah,
You're so right, Bernard. I apologize for my mismanagement of my anger.
No, I mean, it's not. I can understand the frustration because I'm sure there's a lot of people who share the same feelings, but I just feel like we shouldn't give up in the good of mankind. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just too sentimental. Maybe I'm just too fucking optimistic. But
Oh no, I totally agree with you. You're totally right. I'm surrounded by nice people. I'm happy with my friends and everyone.
I do feel that my feed on YouTube in particular, or even on Reddit, is it's just like if I don't pay attention to it, it slowly becomes a rage bait fest, or it's either rage bait or something
true.
pornographic. If I don't curate my content carefully, right, suddenly I have these really, like, you know, young boys in ties like wrestling, and
What?
it's just like it's edited it's edited in a way that it's
Okay.
so sexual, and then I have
Okay,
to
hold
like,
on, hold on. Let me just share something. When I recreated my Instagram account a couple of days ago, I was very acutely aware of this problem. So,
mhm.
like the first thing I did is start to look for cat pictures and flowers. And I sent likes to them. And hold on, let me just open it up now. Yep, cats.
Oh, good for you,
Cats.
huh?
Cats walking in the snow, cats on the treadmill, kitten in the sakura tree.
And then a random in a cat latex suit.
How do I share this with you guys? I
could
kind of want to share my
just
screen.
post it
Actually, I'll
onto
just take a
the
screenshot.
just screenshot, post it into the chat.
I
But
know what
yeah.
you mean. I actively avoid all the first traps on Instagram because as soon as I like stop for too long on one,
Mm-hmm.
I don't
just
know, like
knows.
3 times, it just like half of my feed is suddenly asses and things like that.
Well, I mean, that's the whole reason why I stopped using social media in the first place, right? Like, I don't want to be exposed to this shit. But I feel like because I was speaking with my cousin, and I'm like, hey, what do you think is the best way to organically meet people, right? And she was like, well, you can use these apps to see like what events are going on, and you can just show up to the event like with no expectations or whatever. Try to enjoy yourself, and maybe you meet somebody. All right, sure, whatever. But the problem is, right, because of how social media is quite prevalent these days, she said that she would actually find it a little weird if somebody does not have it. Because then you start to think like, oh, is this a catfish?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
I've
does this person actually exist?
I have heard those exact
Yeah, I know
words.
what
Like
you
it's
mean.
from the younger generation. Like there are these younger girls telling me if a man doesn't have a dating like profile, like he's not using these things, that they would be genuinely afraid.
Yeah. But it's like, God damn it!
If I open
I find
some,
myself forced to interact with this shit again.
if I open someone's like my male friend's Instagram and all I see is cats, I would think that either he's hiding something or he's crazy.
Yeah.
Look at that! Look at that! Look how cute that cat is. What do you call this? A Siamese?
This look and the flowers only add to it. It's like
Yeah, you are
it's
hiding
oh
something.
oh, it's my burner phone so that my rape victims don't get scared.
Fucked if you do, fucked if you don't, huh? No, but I honestly though, I rather have pictures of cats and dogs and birds and cute flower bouquets instead of fucking tits and asses though.
Yeah, I
Like if I
mean,
want that, I can go look for it, right?
but
Like
but
let's be real.
it would be nicer if it would like contain content that is related to your interest.
Yeah,
I don't know,
I feel
man.
like it's a pity that you can't just like filter it. Like, can I just not have suggestive content?
Even if you like on
Mm.
YouTube, you can set particular videos to not recommend channel. But sometimes they still sneak their way back. And what I've had to
Yeah.
do is like I've had to look for thirst traps, but like for this straight people. So I have to look up for like young girls, like the what do you call it? Like all these AI generated girls in cowboy hats and stuff. And I had to like
What?
train my algorithm away to make it more straight. And then I haven't done that for 3 days, right? And check out my latest YouTube short feed. Like, come on. Like, what is this some kind of like a pill that I have to take that I need to like make it straight
Oh,
again? And then now it's giving me some
hold on,
very
hold on.
weird stuff.
I wanna see what my YouTube Shorts feed is showing.
Why?
Dan, I wanna see yours as well.
I wonder,
If you're willing. Okay, let's see.
do girls like this as well?
Like what? You mean for their feed?
Like, yeah, is there first traps? Are
Yeah.
there
Of
first traps
course there
like
A
that?
is.
lot of the thirst traps I'm getting, they're like mostly for girls. The far left one, that's the guy from SNL. The second one
Oh,
from
wait,
the
I have to
left.
do this on my computer, right?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And then recently, I'm getting a lot of these shorts about teenagers keeping their babies because they accidentally got somebody pregnant, and then they keep their babies. Oh, I know that guy. Like he does a lot of like, what the hell?
Which one? Okay,
bullying in real
on the
life?
far left, there's this Asian dude that you remember. I've been sending you guys a couple of reels from him where he's like, "Ni howdy." It's just so funny. The second one is this new news absurdist channel that I find. Basically, he used rotor scoping to do this like man shaped thing. It's
Mhm.
quite funny. You should check him out. It's
Why
quite
is
funny.
my million capitalized but yours is not capitalized? Like you have lowercase m and k, but mine isn't capitalized.
I don't know.
What the hell?
But the third guy, this guy with the beard, he talks a lot about like life shit, like very deep philosophical. You remember the video I sent you guys about the where he was talking next to the fireplace in Dark Souls?
Yeah, dude. These channels are known as dude philosophy or something like that. It's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's like good stuff, you know. It's not like bad, negative,
Mhm.
toxic. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then obviously this guy, you know this one on the fourth
He does a
panel.
lot of
You
gay
know this guy?
jokes. I do have him as well.
Yeah. I have no idea what this last one is, where this guy's just ripping his shirt apart. Europe versus America.
Yeah, sure you
What is
don't.
his Haiter
Money.
from Twitter and his anime stuff?
I've been closing my shortcuts. What do you call them? Short video feeds, and
Mhm.
like it would tell me that it will recommend them less.
Mhm.
And now I'm trying to just find a second one. I've been scrolling all this time, and I haven't come. Like it didn't show me one more.
But that means that it's working as intended because you wanted
Yeah.
this.
I'm just
Look,
surprised.
Dance
I'm
is
happy,
also
but I'm
like
surprised.
capitalized M. The million is capitalized.
Huh.
My YouTube is in English. Is
Yeah,
your
but you see,
in
like
German, Werner?
both yours and mine are like the M and the million or K, like they're capitalized, but Benny's is lowercase.
I wonder why.
I also wonder why. Why? Tell us.
Maybe because I'm
Is it like the Swiss German thing?
less important.
It's
Less
coming up.
emphasis. More chilled. Here are some of the videos YouTube are recommending me. Let me for the non-viewer, not for people who's for the audio listeners. Yeah, I'll just read out a couple. Why everyone hates the burnt peanut.
What the hell?
Sending waves of squaddies to their deaths in Expert Menace. The weirdo who got cooked.
Isn't that the Island Boy,
Welcome to
the
Fantasy
twin cess
World
thing?
playlist. Hmm?
Isn't that guy the Island Boy?
I think so.
You know the twin cess thing, like he kissed his
just got
twin brother and
uploaded
then they made a lot of money.
I have no idea. I'll have to check this out. Oh yeah, Island Boy. Literally the first two words.
I do have
Aren't
like
isn't
I
aren't
do
they
want,
the twin boys who like make out with each other and they have that song Island Boy?
I think they did more than just making out. But then it begs the question, like twin cess is such a it's a very weird topic and very specific. And it's just like
Oh yo, have you guys heard of this?
Mhm.
TikTok's AI fruit slop, like Fruit Love Island. Apparently it's like bombing. I've been constantly being bombed by this.
Are you talking about like the short form drama that you have to pay for?
Yeah, yeah, it's like brain rot, but instead of like crocodilo, bombadillo, and tun 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 takun, now it's this
It's usually
Fruit
like
Love
teen
Island.
romance drama. Like there was a big trend of like vampire, like you know, remakes of people like reinterpretation of Twilight, I guess. And then now, because of heated rivalry, again, now we have a shit ton of these slop dramas uh, of different homosexual stories about different sports. So if there's a sport you can name it, there's one, and it's very popular among women. Apparently, like they're really making money.
I mean, AI slop. AI slop plus brain rot equals profit.
I guess so. Oh gosh, I hate it when
Oh,
what?
I think that's another, and I think that's another slang or meme from from millennials.
Which one?
Flop.
When you say this, that equals profit.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
No, it
right,
was
right.
step one this, step two that,
Uh-huh.
and then step three question mark, step four profit.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Yeah, viewers don't know this, but earlier we were talking about like millennial slangs. We should make a video about like all these slangs from different generations.
Actually, this is a great time to plug our Patreon. If you want the inside the scoops discussions and engage in parasocial relationship with us, relationship dynamic with us, you should consider the Patreon. Then you can feel like you're in with the crowd.
Even the way you laughed, it's so slimy businessman kind. It's like,
yeah.
it's
So
funny.
true.
Oh,
Give money, please.
oh, I guess like we are
This is a
feeling the
perfect
late
description.
stage enshittification, right? Like this is do you think it's gonna further evolve? Like how is it gonna change?
What, and shittification?
Like
I think there will be like a critical mass hit and a
mhm.
brewing resentment and a buildup of this absolutely sucks, that it's gonna come around.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, something will come that is actually good, and people will like, "Oh my god, it can actually be good," and then they'll stop using what they were using before.
I wonder if we could have like an early 2000s style internet revival where a group of like really good developers and just get together with good faith and just create like these open source alternatives to some of these softwares. But I guess the problem comes down to how likely users, because like there is an argument to be made that people actually prefer this, right? Because it is the way that engagement
Mhm.
is driven, and not everybody are like like hippie hypocrites like us. We say that we like it the way that it was back in the day, but I could imagine if we actually got that, maybe we'll have like a different set of complaints when we actually finally have
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I believe I don't know if it was in Pompeii or one of these other ancient cities, where there used to be like a messaging board, like a message board in like the city center,
Mhm.
and I think somebody mentioned like one of the notes was also something, some random guy wrote like, the youth of today have no respect for their elders or some
Oh
shit
yeah,
like
yeah,
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
yeah.
I've seen that somewhere.
Like
Yeah.
I think it's just a constant from like
Yeah.
regarding that.
It's an
Yeah.
immutable quality of us. Oh well, but I guess yeah, we need to stop talking about like such depressing subject. But I guess that is that.
Is it
It's
depressing though?
we're depressing people. What do you want?
Yeah, that's true. Well, anyway, I guess that is it for like enshittification. Is there anything you guys like to add?
No, I don't think so.
I don't. I mean, I don't think everything is shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, there is a financial incentive for companies to do that. Because, like, if you could get away with it, like, why wouldn't they, right?
Yeah.
But then again, it's not like you are dependent on those things, right? If you one day realize, I mean, I guess it's kind of like also in terms of relationships. If you one day realize the person you're with just suddenly stop caring about you, suddenly don't make time for you anymore, then why stay? As much as it hurts, as much as it sucks to have to start all over again, and the fear of being alone and stuff like that, why stay? Why choose to be treated like shit? Why choose the shittification of that service from that company? There, that's, I mean, that's the whole purpose of competition, right? Like when
Yeah.
something gets complacent and a service starts becoming bad, you can go to the competitor.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, in the interest of change, I think here's a fun thing we could do. Next week, when we reconvene, we should come back to talk about the new stuff that we started doing. So after this episode today, we're gonna start doing something new, just something different. Like, for example, Benny was trying out like some of the AI chatbots. I think we should just try something new that we've never done before, and then we just come back to share our experiences, so we don't always complain about the status quo, because we're actually trying something new. What do you think?
Actually, I got something to add right there. It doesn't take long. I tried for the first time yesterday pre-workouts.
Oh, like the drink, or
I don't know how I feel about it. It's basically just like an energy drink condensed into a shot, right? And
Mm.
like people told me, "Oh, watch out! You're gonna feel like your whole body is itching and all that." But like, I don't know. I was the only difference I felt was that while my muscle just gave out, like I literally just can't lift anymore. Um, mentally and cardiovascularly, like I was not as fatigued as I normally would have been.
Nice.
Yeah, like I feel like I can still go for another round, but when I try to do the set, like I only do like 2 or 3 reps, and then it's just like I can't.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. I want to know more.
I don't think I will use more pre-workouts, and also I didn't use it in the way it's intended. Instead of taking that before my workout, I actually started a bit and then use it mid
uh-huh.
use.
Man,
Yeah, mid.
I feel that meme, like I feel that meme. Do you remember Invincible? And then Nolan is telling Mark, like, look at what they have to do to imitate a fraction of our power.
Of our power. Yeah.
Because I'm
Oh,
feeling like,
new season is out. Did you start watching? I saw the first episode. I'm hooked.
oh, I haven't. I know that there's gonna be something to do with like the underworld.
I think it's Trag.
No, but
Trag's
like, isn't
coming.
there? Yeah, I know the story's moving in that direction, but there's apparently something about the. If you remember, there's like the demon detective that was banished by Cecil. I thought it was really
Oh
funny.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, like, because you were talking about pre-workouts and all the chemicals you guys have to swallow to get yourself going, and then I just feel like us, like gay men, just literally have to go when there are other people, and then you just have like all these visual stimulants that really get you going. Because I could just look around and be like, oh wow, there's just a lot of good stuff, and it gets me naturally motivated and excited.
Do you mean in the gym?
Yeah. It's the same as like if you see all these really super hot girls in the gym, like you just work out harder for some reason. Like you have that energy.
Nah. But what's funny though is I was going with the brother of a friend of mine, right? And I recently confided in him about my heartbreak. And
Mhm.
then I kind of made it funny, and I was like, but it's okay, like I'm using it to like go hard at the gym now, like to the point where people probably look at me and then see me like pushing so hard and ask themselves like, damn, who hurt this guy?
The backstory that you have.
No, but I'm like feeling it, like everything is sore now.
I feel bad for people that are already like really fit and in really great shape. Uh, when they're already in the relationship, like they're dating, and then they're already in shape, they get broken up with. They don't get to have that, like very uplifting story of like a montage of them working out, getting a sick ass body, and like showing up in front of their ex and then looking really beautiful. Like, oh, look at me, this is the new me, because they're already like peak.
I don't think I was all in agreement until you said the part like showing up in front of their ex. Like that's not healthy. That says to me that you're still hung up on them, and you're doing that as a way to like get back at them.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
think that's
Yeah.
healthy.
but this is it's just an example of the trope, right? Like there are always these guys, stories of these men changing themselves and then showing up in front of their ex, saying like, "Oh, this is the brand new me." And I just thought it'd be really funny if you're just already fit, then you're denied that. You don't have a
Well,
chance.
there's that Wojak meme, like the four paths out of depression for
Mhm.
guys. One is the gym. One is finding a new partner. One is religion, and the other one is just Warzone. Which is,
Okay.
it's kind of ironic actually if I think about it, because like my first serious relationship, like right after the end of that, I had to start to do my military service, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
right after the end of this one, I start going hard at the gym. So I guess half of that is true.
Who knows? Maybe the next one's gonna drive you towards God. We'll be there
Oh
to
God,
we'll
no.
be there to witness it. Ah, all
I
right.
I think not.
Okay, guys. So I think that's it for today's episode. Do check us out on Spotify. We are getting more views on YouTube than Spotify for some reason. I think the usual.
Oh,
Yay.
okay. Then we gotta do that YouTuber thing. Hey guys, smash that like button, ring that bell, and hit subscribe if you want more of this. Hey
Oh my
guys.
goodness.
Oh God.
Perfection.
Everybody is doing like YouTube Live now. We should do that. Can you imagine?
What is that?
It's just going live on YouTube because it's trying to like compete with Kick and Twitch.
YouTube is like trying to compete with everything at the same time.
Yeah, I mean they're
I
Google.
mean,
They
why
have
wouldn't
everything. They
they?
have all the
Right?
money.
They're already in the video market. Like, might as well try to take a piece of that pie.
Yeah.
Hey Jamie, a question. Would it be easier for you if we do this YouTube live? Because then it's automatically saved as a VOD on YouTube straight away already, isn't it? Like, and maybe
I think
like, does
so.
that
No,
make
it
it
doesn't.
easier for you?
It's not that different, honestly. It's not that different.
No.
It's not that much work or less work. But
Oh,
it kind of doesn't make sense to do it if we don't have any, if we don't have anybody watching it. But
I get it. So it's more like for if you already have an established
yeah,
base
yeah.
following.
You know,
Okay.
could check it out, right? There's also like YouTube memberships that people are pushing for. So instead of
Mm.
like, oh, hey, there's Patreon, you could also do like YouTube members uh specific videos. And then they would talk about like more vulgar, more of a mature subject, right? If you're interested in that.
What?
So you know how
Really?
like yeah, there's sometimes like these podcasts. So for example, there is a channel that speaks to other people about their lives. So it's something really bombastic, right? It's usually somebody
Mm.
who has survived childhood molestation. There's an interview with a guy who only sleep with other married men, so they're convinced that that's still straight. And then like they get
You mentioned that before. That logic makes no sense. How
the-
how okay Dan. Okay, I wanna okay, Jamie, you told that to me before, but now you
yeah.
gotta tell it to Dan and I wanna hear his reaction.
Okay, Dan.
Bring it on.
So this is in like I think the guy's from Chicago, and then it's this African American guy who because there's that African American culture at play as well. So this is a straight man who has a wife and kids, and they would go out of their way to like sleep with other men who are also married. So they have that proof, right? It's like, oh, okay, this guy's definitely straight because he too has a wife. And then so these
Mhm.
men would get together and just go at it, right? And then they're convinced that they're still like they still identify themselves as straight. And some of them would tell their wives about it. It's like, oh, it's an arrangement. Some of them lie to their would hide this fact from their wives. And it's a really good.
Wow.
We could react to this story. Like it's really interesting. It's from a channel called Other People's Lives, and it's super interesting. Like, cause when you hear him talk about it, he's not just doing a bit, right? Like he's fully convinced about it. Um,
Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with that? It's just brothers from the hood, straight,
what?
hardcore straight brothers from the hood, just doing manly loving stuff with
Uh-huh.
other straight brothers from the hood. Like it's completely straight. I mean, yeah, come on. You get pegged by your wife once in a while too, right? Just because it's a guy doing it doesn't make it gay.
You know,
it's weird, I must say.
I'm
I think
far
it's just
more
like the
interested in.
And
mental gymnastics involved to try to like to try to like justify it. It's just insane to me.
But you know how like
yeah,
there is this trend that I don't know if it's a trend because at the same time there have been like this channel on TLC or something, and it's about these Mormons who are openly gay, but they choose to marry women, and their wives all know about it. And then it's the craziest thing.
Hmm.
They would tell their wives that, oh, I have homosexual tendencies, but I do want to marry you, have kids, and they do that. But they get together with other Mormon men suffering the same affliction, and they would get together and play basketball, and so they tell their wives. So they get together, they play basketballs. And something tells me there are more balls that they're playing with. Um, but they're but their wives are like fully, they fully acknowledge it. They're like, oh, he just sometimes has those urges. And then there are some other wives who are like, oh, at least he's sleeping with other men, not other women.
Does that make it even what?
There are all these weird
well,
mental gymnastics at play.
there's a slot for another man, and there's a slot for another woman, and nobody is contesting that slot.
I mean, let's
There is
be,
only one slot that matters, which is in the heart, okay? And there is only
I am
space for
curious
one there.
though. But I am curious though. Like, I feel like if I were to ask most men, when I ask most men that, hey, if your wife or girlfriend cheats on you with another woman, preferably another really like feminine, really beautiful woman, most men would be upset that they were not invited, as opposed to that they were being cheated on. You know,
What
uh,
the fuck?
Uh,
Cheating is cheating.
I know. So
Like
Benny,
why
you
why
are
why
in the
wouldn't
Benny.
my
So you
partner
I must say it makes this cheating a lot better and easier to do.
right? Like
no, I would still feel betrayed because like why do you feel like you are unable to confide in me? Like what like and I think the communication is also then like why do you feel like you're not able to communicate with me what your the lack of your needs, you know? Like
well, maybe she just
why do you
thought.
feel like you have to go to such
I
an
mean,
extreme lengths that you have to you seek
I,
your needs being fulfilled from outside the relationship instead of trying to talk to me and work with me in the first place.
Okay, so how
That
about
would be the
this?
uh,
How
it
about
makes
this?
sense what you say, but emotionally, that's what I feel. Like somehow it's not as bad.
Yeah, like how about
I'm
I
not
do
sure
this?
why.
How about I put both of you in the same scenario that you have a wife and she tells you that she needs some clam action and she needs you to not be there. Like she's just like
she needs some
she
what action?
clam action. Like she is turned on by what you possess, right? But every now and then she just needs some girl action. Like she wants to be in the embrace of somebody who smells nice, soft skin, fruity scent, like just something not so
I
masculine.
would like to hope that I already knew about this way before we got married, man.
Okay, but anyway, you're married and then she
Because
comes to
then,
you,
'cause
she
then I
has.
would feel like, okay, this is critical knowledge of a need which you have
But
that you weren't not
what if she only
you did not
developed this
care.
after she married you? Oh, okay,
You turn a
What?
woman gay, Bernard. Shame on you.
No, okay, but anyway,
I
you're
mean,
already married.
if it's already to that point and it's a new thing, then I think
So, well,
it's I
anyway,
think we will have to have discussions on it. Like
oh,
there will need to be a talk,
okay, but I'm
but
not
it's not
asking you.
Yeah.
I'm,
something
I'm not asking
you
you
just
about.
talk over one dinner or one week or one like lunch. You know, this is like something you need like days to sit together and try to figure out where it came from. Like what's the goal, what's the desire.
What is the right voltage on the electric chair to drive this out?
Well, anyway, that's not the question, though. The question that I was going to ask you is, if you have to choose between your wife sleeping with another man and another woman, it's a very simple choice, man or woman. which one hurts you less?
Neither. They both suck.
So equally, it would be equally bad if she sleeps with another man.
Yeah, because that is already a symptom of the problem.
And Dan, for you,
Somehow, if I find out she slept with a woman, it's not as bad.
yeah, Dan's reaction
I mean,
is,
it's still a problem,
yeah, and I
Yeah, but
think
but
then
somehow it's better. I don't know why.
most people feel Dan's way, like, and I don't know why.
I think
Because
it feels that way because it doesn't. It's less about you. It's not an. It doesn't. It's less. It's how do I say? It's less about you, but more about her, right? Like
mhm,
her decisions. It's less. It attacks your.
Personal.
No. How do I wait? I need a moment. I need a moment to
I think you're trying to
for my
say
brain.
that you're trying to say that if it's with another man, there's always that possibility you feel like she slept with
No.
him
What I
because he's
mean, like,
better.
because she chose another woman, it's less. You take it less as as a
As an
as a
offense.
implication of your value.
Mm.
Because if it's another person of the same gender, right? Like now it goes for both genders, girls or guys. It doesn't matter. But if it's if your partner cheats on you with a person of the same gender as you are, it's you start. It could be like, oh, am I not good enough, right? It becomes like,
Yeah,
is there something wrong with me? Like your value as a person like starts being questioned.
exactly.
And I think
Because
that's
it's
why
the
it feels
other
a
guy you
lot
feel
worse,
like,
because where if it's a person of the same gender, you can kind of like disassociate a little bit.
yeah.
You could say, this is not because I don't have values, or they found someone quote unquote better than me, but it's like this is something that they need, right? It's that
Mm.
disassociation. And because your value as a person, be it emotional or physical, is not in question, it's not as bad. But if you ask me, if you put the whole gender and like value proposition part aside, it's still bad because it's, first of all, instead of working together at the problem, they are seeking external solutions which they decide is the only solution to their problem, when this is something that is supposed to be a relationship. You're supposed to work together, but they make an executive choice,
Mhm.
right?
So at the end of the
And
day, like you feel like it would hurt you equally as
yeah,
much.
for me, yeah, because it's about communication, it's about vulnerability. Like, why do you feel like you cannot talk to me about it, right? I think
Mm.
everybody have desires, everybody have fantasies. That's okay. But talk to me about it, right?
So
Don't just make
yeah, I feel like there are more people that, um, there are women that I've spoken to where I asked them the same question that, okay, if your boyfriend slept with another woman versus another man, almost all of them would prefer it's some kind of like, it would prefer if, their partner slept with someone of the same gender as their partner, as opposed to, so in this case, it's like that. Oh, because
which
if your
proves
wife
my
sleeps
point.
with a
It's not
man,
about it's not about if it's somebody of the same gender, it throws your value into question.
it's easier to
And that's the
compare yourself
problem.
with it, right? It's easier to
Yeah.
compare yourself
Yeah.
with that person. But holy shit! Oh, we need to get like female, perspectives on this.
We
Like,
do.
I think
We
it'd be
do.
interesting.
So
I will ask a couple of female friends
Mm-hmm.
if they might be
Benny,
interested to share their thoughts.
Benny, you are obviously like enlightened. Sorry, not enlightened, but like
What?
you're excited to talk about like relationship stuff. So I thought you would be really interested into like the 90-day fiance thing, because ultimately it is about relationship, and there's a lot of like really interesting versions of toxicity and problems, and like it's super interesting, and I
Yeah, but
always
that's the problem, right? Like it's the thing about it's also that thing about social media, right? Like I don't
Uh-huh.
want to be just bombarded and exposed to every shitty thing because like at some point you take it in and you internalize it as
Mm.
well, you know?
I mean,
And I don't want to be a negative and shitty person. So I don't want to internalize all this issue. And like I said about fear, right? Like I'm gonna be real, like my last relationship partly didn't work out because I had a lot of fear and I was acting on my fears. And it's really, really hard to try to break away from that. I would still say that it's normal to always have fears, but the problem is when you let it take control of you, right?
uh-huh.
And it just hurts because I know I can change, I know I can improve as long as given enough time and space to work on it. But essentially I feel like my partner just gave up, right? Like, and that kind of hurts me
So do you
because
feel like
like
the episodes that I had in mind, like it's got nothing to do with that. It's like something else. So would that be as triggering for you? Do you think?
no, I think you should, regardless, you should challenge yourself,
Hmm.
push your boundaries, face whatever is uncomfortable with you, whatever you're uncomfortable with. That's not about that, but it's just about the internalization of negativity just
Hmm.
via exposure,
Okay.
which is part of the reason why I don't want to use social media, right?
Yeah.
But it's
And at
not.
some point if you consuming
It,
content like this, you start, I mean that's how people get black pilled and red pilled. I don't
yeah.
even know what the colors mean anymore, but like but that's how people internalize all this negativity, right? Because they're just so
Mhm.
constantly bombarded by like, oh, this gender only wants this, or oh, that gender only wants that. First of all, the whole fucking gender divide is just bullshit if you ask me. You're just all the same. Obviously, you have your biological differences, but you as a person, your desires and wants are completely the same. Everybody wants to just have a nice life to where they can be cherished by somebody.
Yeah, I think that's an
Simplification.
oversimplification.
Yeah, I guess.
The differences are about not only biological, they're also, I think, cultural and
And societal as well. But I mean, like, if you
and
strip away all of that, like the base desire is just to have an easy life, I think. Like you
Really?
don't have to worry about
I
food.
mean, but
You don't
the
have to worry
conflict doesn't happen because of base desires. It's actually about the differences and misunderstanding of each other.
Yeah, and just the societal norms that has been placed upon us as well, right? Oh, you're a guy, so you should be this. Oh, you're a girl, so you shouldn't do that.
What's that
I
Well,
philosophy?
mean, I
yes, but I
understand
think
their
that's
their
also partially. I think biology also drives this.
Uh, Biology is the biggest driver, I would say, even still, because like a lot of the issues, just to talk about how how a lot of women don't need to rely as soon as they don't need to rely on men for their income, for their survival, there there's very little incentive for women to give birth, right? Like, because it takes you away from the workforce, it tremendously impacts your ability to survive.
it's a
um
major life hazard.
yeah, and
Like I
fundamentally
hear stories from my cousin about like uh ab- yeah, I don't want to go into it
anyway,
maybe
I,
right
I
now.
I just feel like women who decide to have kids are so brave. Like I commend like my parents and like all these, all the people that choose to have kids today, especially today. You better have your shit together. You better have a 6 feet, a 6 foot tall, blue eye, blonde hair, finance
What?
guy. You know, yeah,
Why wouldn't just financially stable and
well, yeah,
able to
you
like
need to have that, have that minimal requirement, right? Like, I just cannot imagine somebody giving birth now and like thinking they would go away unimpacted. right? And this goes beyond that because
Wait. How does giving birth have what does giving birth have to do with blue eyes, blonde hair,
no, I was
6
joking
foot?
at like you need to have somebody rich, or at least you yourself need to be rich. But even going beyond that, right? Like for a woman, if you have given birth and then you get, for some reason, your husband dies or you get divorced, having a child greatly impacts your dating potential, right? A lot of men don't want to date somebody who already has a kid. And so like the risk women are taking is fundamentally greater
But
than a
you're
man.
but you're a woman, so a lot of men still want to date you.
I guess so. Yeah, but actually, I
They want to
would
date
ask you
you. They
guys
just don't
like,
want to have anything maybe long term with you. But I think maybe for younger men
mm.
that is a thing. But I think if I
So
don't think it would be such a factor for some guy who's like maybe 40 and above. Do you think
for
that?
both of you, so both of you at your current age, I present to you two choices: two women of roughly equal value. They're both good looking. They're both equally talented.
What do you mean? Can you define the term equal value?
Like
Like
they're
what do you mean by
equally
value?
to you, they're equally attractive to you, roughly equally attractive to you. Like it's a very difficult choice, but one has a kid and the other doesn't. Would you seriously, can you like confidently say that having a kid does not factor into your choice, or having had a kid? Just
Of course, it
let's say the
factors
kid is
into
not in the
choice because
picture anymore.
it factors the availability of their time as well, right? Because
Yeah.
like I believe if you have a kid, then your priority should be on that kid. Like
I mean,
No, sorry, let me
if
rephrase it.
the
The
scale is perfectly balanced,
mhm.
then yeah, I guess having a kid would be extremely small
yeah,
Mhm.
disadvantage. Like like if I'm looking at basically twins that are exactly equal.
So what if
But
I
in
I
the
remove
wouldn't
the
say
real,
it's
kid
extremely
now?
small because like it does play a role on the availability of that person because
it plays a role, but it doesn't bother me. Like I understand, in the real world, of course, you wouldn't be presented with a exact copy of another person just without the child. So in the real world, it wouldn't impact my decision. That's what I'm trying to say.
Let's
Like
make it
it
interesting.
doesn't.
How about
Yeah.
this? The kid has died. So it's just
what?
the kid has died. It's both women a long time ago, but these both women, roughly of equal attractiveness to you, one have had a child before, and the other hasn't. She hasn't given birth. Would that change? Would you prefer one over the other?
You do, this is not like a binary choice. Like what happened, you know? Like did it die in miscarriage? Did it die after
Is she a
birth?
serial
Like
killer and she killed
yeah, you
her
can't just
itself?
like
She
okay, here's one, here's the other, choose. Like this, it's
But
not just so
if I
simple.
can, let's
she
assume everything was like normal, not some crazy scenario. Then actually, I think I would prefer the one that already had a child.
Yeah,
Mm.
same. I don't
It's
know
going to
why, but
sound a bit
I
mean,
instantly go for
but
that.
first of all, she's probably more. Well, no, you cannot really tell that. I was going to say more mature, but
Yeah, okay. First of
that's a
all, did she was
very
this
vague,
lady like
very
with the
not
child?
100, like very unreliable. Anyways, but another thing, she can actually have a kid, so
Yeah,
that's also nice because I want to have a kid.
yeah.
Mm.
And also, what about the mental state of that women who had that child, right? Like, was she able to properly grieve that kid? Like, did she spiral into depression and just lost all hope in life because of that loss? Like,
I think in this example again, they're in all other aspects, they're like perfectly equal.
Exactly.
okay, so they are both depressed.
No, the question is that
The first one is weird because she keeps talking about a kid that died, but she never had any children.
because the question I'm asking is very simple, right? Like especially in Asia, there is that there is that stereotype of that prejudice against women that have already given birth. They feel like, oh, it's sort of like that same prejudice against non-virgin women in early, like 20 years ago in China, let's say. If you're a woman and you're not a virgin, then you're just not that convincing in a dating pool. Long time ago. This is a long time ago.
I
Nowadays,
find that
there's such
idea weird.
but
Personally, I would prefer somebody who has more experience and know what they want. I mean, I don't mind like exploring together, but like,
but I'm just
yeah,
saying that there
I mean,
is that
it was a different
consideration,
time.
right? There
yeah,
is that
true.
consideration of, oh, a woman who has given birth versus a woman who hasn't. And then some men, a lot of men actually, in today's world, will still prefer, like, in lieu of sounding misogynistic, they feel like, this is their perspective, not mine. They just feel like they prefer something fresh. Like they prefer a woman who's more fresh as opposed to someone who's already given birth. And could you really say that, like, is that a
Ah,
misogynistic choice, or is that like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's very complicated. It's a very tough
I
thing
don't.
to
I just want
navigate.
to understand why they think that way. Do they feel like there's a lot of loss of value or something? Like, or is it just completely an arbitrary
It's just
value
preference. I
proposition
think
that
it's
they
just
just decide
preference.
in their head?
It's the same thing as most, like, there was a study shown, a study done on the attractiveness of men in America, in the United States, where Asian men are ranked the least attractive, right? But that doesn't mean you can go on and call the average woman in the States racist, right? They're not racist, but they just prefer someone white, according to the statistics, right? And the same way for this, could you blame a man for, like, choosing somebody who is fresh, like, in terms of her virility,
so
right?
sorry for the laugh, but it's just that you're like, it's not racist, and then you go carry on saying one of the most racist phrases
No,
you could say.
but they say, I'm voicing what they say. To me, that's
No,
blat.
I get it. I get it.
I can
I'm just
see.
explaining why I laughed.
But yeah, would you blame?
I feel like we need to do a little bit of a disclaimer here, where
Yeah, this is okay. There's a channel called Elephants in the Room, and then he likes to talk about these really difficult subjects. I think we should
Hmm.
try that as well. Let's deal with some very difficult things, you know, especially like
Oh,
the gender attraction thing, like, because you've seen this from both sides, right? Like, we are kind of like going backwards in terms of this tolerance. Recently there are these posts going viral where a woman, a white woman, decided to give black children, because she's a teacher, young black little girls, to do her hair because she grew up in a black neighborhood. But a critical voice in the community online would say to her that you're not black, you can't do this, you're not supposed to do this.
yeah,
This
but
is our
I feel like
culture.
that's gatekeeping. Like,
that's racist.
are you to
Yeah.
decide what's okay and what's not okay, right? It's
Exactly.
like what like those white people who's like very like, oh, you
You
can't appropriate the
Mm.
Japanese people's culture, and you see in the comments, and the Japanese people are like, oh, we're actually happy that you're dressing up in kimonos. That's cool for us, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I
I'm
know what
saying
you mean. I
that
agree.
as a society, we are getting, like, I am noticing that people are getting very sensitive about this. And there are some
Really,
very obvious hypocrisies that's happening, right?
I feel like there was a certain pushback from the society. There's this crazy pushback that I don't like, but there is also just sane pushback, right? Uh,
Like what?
well, in the case of this woman asking
Mhm.
to the two black girls to
Mhm.
do her hair, I think it's bad. It's racism. It's just racism against
Mhm.
white people. Like, why the hell you shouldn't be able to do a certain style of hairstyle just because you're not the right race? Well, that sounds racist if you don't know which race is blaming which race, right?
Yeah,
But
we
somehow,
I mean, I
somehow,
feel
if
like there seems to be this kind of sentiment where you can't be racist against white people. It's stupid.
yeah, that's
Like,
what I'm saying. Like this, for me, this is a sane pushback. Like just saying we want to stop racism, not switch to being racist to white people.
yeah.
I feel like there is this very weird phenomenon that's happening that's almost as if some of the younger generation are expecting some kind of reparations. It sort of goes along the same logic as this. Like in terms of global warming, right? An argument that China brings about against its Western counterparts in terms of, oh, we get to emit, we get to have a higher tolerance of carbon dioxide emissions, greenhouse gas emissions, because we didn't have the same eras, we didn't have the same years where you in the West, during the Industrial Revolution, you have polluted the world. You have had, centuries to pollute the world. And suddenly, when it gets to my chance to become a developed country, you are limiting us to, you're limiting my emissions. And it's sort of that sentiment that is also happening on the cultural front, where it almost feels like, oh, because white people have had it great for a long time, that that we are expecting a higher or a tougher standard for them now. It goes so far as, oh, any other race shouldn't have braids because it's somehow unique to Africans, right? It goes as far as to, oh, some statues need to be removed because they own slaves, right? Like things like that. So it gets really
Yeah.
controversial, but we need to get more people on this debate. I think it's more fun that way.
Mm. And I think we should also like maybe have a different gender perspective. Like in my previous job, it's actually quite important to have that because they see things differently than we do, and they have a different perspective as well. And I think it should be incorporated.
Yeah.
So if we can
invite
each like get somebody
them.
to join us, I think that'll be cool.
That would
Because
be
then
cool.
it'll be also more balanced, I think, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not just 4 dudes, or I mean 3 dudes and one lady.
But yeah, we do need some diversity. All right. Okay,
Yeah.
we've rambled long enough. So I guess that is the end to this episode. I think we spent more time not talking about enshittification. Fucking hell.
We did. I felt like we almost did 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Kind
on
of,
this
right?
one.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Because we had one talk and then we switched to something else and we kind of continued with that.
My goodness. Right,
But
guys.
I think we're
Oh.
circling a little bit too much around more or less the same things.
Yeah.
Because I guess those are the things that we're interested in. But as a podcast, we should evolve and like somehow discuss other stuff.
Hmm.
How can we steer ourselves to do that? Now that's the question.
Personally, I still feel that we should just follow our hearts. If we want to talk about something, we talk about it. If we want to talk about something else, we talk about it. It's
Yeah, true. That way it's more genuine.
yeah.
Indeed. Right. Thank you guys for listening, or also on Spotify if you'd like to check us out. So we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Have a good one.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening.